Good afternoon, dear students. From today, we are going to start with the unit 4, that is production, industrial productions. Okay. First, we will study production of ethyl alcohol, that is production of the solvent ethanol from molasses using the yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Okay. So, ethanol production from molasses using Saccharomyces cerevisiae yeast. Right. Now, ethyl alcohol fermentation was the first fermentation that was known to mankind, and it is an anaerobic fermentation. Okay, ethanol production is a anaerobic fermentations. There are various industrial solvents that can be produced by using microorganisms, say for example ethanol, acetone, butanol, etc. Okay, and industrial solvents like ethanol, they are widely used in chemical as well as in fermentation industries, and it finds wide application. We will discuss that in the end. In the fermentation process, ethanol is produced commercially by the action of yeast on carbohydrates present in the raw materials like molasses or grains or potatoes or whey, pineapple waste, etc. depending upon the materials available. Okay, so in the commercial production of ethanol, yeast utilizes the carbohydrates that are present in the raw materials. Okay, like molasses or grains or pineapple waste or whey, whatever. Now the starchy materials, if they are used, if you are using starches, like if you are using potatoes or grains like that, so starchy materials, if used as raw materials, are first subjected to hydrolysis to obtain sugars, and then they are acted upon by the yeast. Hydrolysis of starch is brought about by using dilute acids or by using enzymatic hydrolysis. The yeast that are commonly used for this purpose, okay, the yeast that is commonly used for generating ethanol from carbohydrates is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is commonly known as baker's yeast or brewer's yeast. The organism converts 90 to 98% of sugars present in the raw material into ethanol and CO2. You can see the reaction. The sugar is converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide. Okay. Now, what are the microorganisms that are used? The microorganisms that are responsible for alcoholic fermentation of molasses are, okay, what are the different microorganisms? Are yeast species like Saccharomyces, Torulopsis, Cloacara, Candida, and certain species of mucor and bacteria. Okay, microorganisms responsible for alcoholic fermentation of yeast are the species of Saccharomyces, Torulopsis, Cloacara, Candida, and certain species of mucor and bacteria. The most important microorganism among all is the yeast Saccharomyces. Okay, Saccharomyces yeast is generally used or most widely used for ethanol production. There are two species of Saccharomyces which are commonly used in alcoholic fermentation. Number one, top fermenting yeast, and number two, bottom fermenting or top fermenter yeast, and number two, bottom fermenter yeast. So what is top yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae and bottom yeast is Saccharomyces carlsbergensis. Okay. So top fermenter yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae and bottom yeast is Saccharomyces carlsbergensis. Top fermenter yeast are active at the top surface of the fermenting liquid. You can find them maybe dispersed throughout the liquid or towards the walls of the vessel, while bottom fermenter yeast generally develop only at the bottom of the fermentation vat. But when we mix, they may get swirled up, they may come up. Okay. So top fermenter yeast generally are active at the top of the fermenting liquid, and bottom fermenter yeast develop only at the bottom of the fermentation vessels. The two classes of yeast, top yeast and bottom yeast, however, differ in their morphological as well as biochemical characteristics. Okay. The strain of yeast that we use for alcoholic fermentation must possess certain characteristic features. What are those? Number one, it should be an effective strain. It should be a high yielding strain. Okay. Number two, it should possess stable and uniform biochemical and characteristics throughout the fermentation process. Okay, it should be an efficient strain, that it should be a high yielding, high producing strain. It should possess stable and uniform biochemical characteristics throughout the fermentation process. It should be a fast growing yeast and should tolerate high concentration of alcohol that is produced. When ethyl alcohol is obtained or produced from molasses, Saccharomyces cerevisiae is commonly used for as a microbe for producing the alcohol. Whereas if you are using whey or sulfite waste liquor as a raw material, then Candida species can be used. Now let us discuss preparation of inoculum. How inoculum is prepared? Inoculum is the broth culture of the microorganism Saccharomyces cerevisiae that is to be added into the fermentation tank or into the raw material, okay, for converting the carbohydrate into ethanol and CO2. Okay, so how preparation of inoculum is done? A large amount of inoculum is required in industrial production of ethyl alcohol. Okay, size of inoculum ranges from 8 to 10% with an average of 4% by volume. The medium that is used for inoculum production is the same that is used for actual fermentation process. A high degree of aeration and agitation is initially required to favor the rapid growth of yeast cells. The optimum pH for inoculum medium is 4.8 to 5. The optimum temperature is also in the range of 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. The various steps that are involved in inoculum buildup are, see, last year you studied why inoculum buildup is essential, because we require a large volume of inoculum. Now, what are the steps involved? 10 ml of sterile medium in a test tube is inoculated with pure culture of the yeast, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and incubated at 28 to 30 degrees Celsius for suitable time period, say a week. Okay, then the tube culture, when the organism grows in the tube culture is aseptically transferred to a 250 ml Erlenmeyer flask containing 200 ml of sterile medium and again incubated at 28 to 30 degrees Celsius till sufficient cell mass is obtained. Then the flask culture is aseptically transferred to a glass vessel, or you can say a glass fermenter having 5 liter capacity, which contains 4 liter of sterile medium. The contents are again incubated at the same temperature and time. Finally, the cell mass is transferred into a small tank which is known as yeast vessel, which is placed near the main fermenter. Yeast vessel contains 10 to 40 gallons of sterile medium. Okay, so the cell mass from 5 liter glass fermenter is transferred into the yeast vessel containing 10 to 40 gallons of sterile medium. After incubation for sufficient time period, the inoculum is ready for pitching. The inoculum is ready for pitching means what? The inoculum is ready to be added into the main fermentation vessel. So inoculum buildup is the preliminary step that we have to follow. So we have to first develop the inoculum of the yeast. Okay, now what are the different raw materials that are used for ethanol production? Saccharine material like molasses, fruit juices or whey. Starchy materials like potato and cornstarch can be used. Cellulosic material like sulfite waste liquor or wood molasses can be used. The most widely used raw material is molasses. Okay, now preparation of fermentation medium. Generally, molasses is used as the main raw material in fermentation medium. The optimum sugar concentration ranges between 10 to 18%. Suitable nitrogen source in the form of ammonium sulfate is added in optimum concentration. Now, when instead of cane molasses, generally we use cane molasses. But instead of cane molasses, when we are using beet molasses, we have to add small amount of cane molasses or blackstrap molasses to meet the biotin deficiency. Beet molasses is deficient in biotin, so you have to add a small amount of cane molasses to meet the biotin deficiency. The pH of the medium is kept acidic in 4.8 to 5 range. Acidic pH can be adjusted by adding sulfuric acid or lactic acid. Now, most of the time it is not necessary to sterilize the fermentation medium because high acidic pH or highly acidic pH inhibit the growth of contaminating microorganism, but the raw material can be pasteurized. Now, fermentation conditions that we have to maintain during the course of fermentation are, or during ethanol fermentation, we have to follow certain conditions. Number one, carbon source. Sugar concentration of 12. Okay, the raw material should, maximum sugar concentration should be 12%. Okay, sugar concentration of 12% is often used to get maximum ethyl alcohol production. Cane molasses contains sucrose as the main carbon source, and they contain 48 to 55% of sucrose. So naturally it has to be diluted. The wort is prepared in such a way that it contains 10 to 12% of sugar, because high concentration of sugar above 18% affects yeast growth, and very low concentration makes the process uneconomical or uncommercial. So you have to dilute the molasses till the sugar concentration is just 10 to 12%, not more than that. So the sugar is a source of carbon. Nitrogen source, there are many inorganic nitrogenous compounds which can be added as nitrogen source, but ammonium sulfate in a concentration of 0.15 gram in 2.5 gallons of molasses is generally preferred. Ammonium sulfate is generally preferred for maximum growth of yeast cells. Excess nitrogen is avoidable since it inhibits fermentation process and promotes only yeast growth. So don't add excess of ammonium nitrogenous source. We just add ammonium sulfate in a definite concentration, that is 0.15 gram per 2.5 grams of molasses, gallons of molasses, sorry. The pH is to be adjusted at 4.8 to 5. If the pH increases, chances of contamination increases, whereas if the pH is too low, fermentation will be inhibited. So you have to maintain the pH in the range of 4.8 to 5. Temperature is maintained in the range of 28 to 38 degrees Celsius. Temperature can be controlled by spraying cold water around the fermentation tank. During the course of fermentation, there is heat evolution. So temperature may rise. So it is necessary to control any rise in temperature. Since rise in temperature favors the growth of bacteria, contaminating bacteria, and also loss of ethyl alcohol due to evaporation. As a result, medium is agitated intermittently for uniform cooling of medium, and you can spray cold water also surrounding the tank. The time required for fermentation. Now fermentation starts within few hours after addition of yeast culture into the molasses fermentation medium. So okay, as soon as you add yeast culture into the fermentation medium, within few hours fermentation will start. The process becomes rapid after 24 hours. The duration required for ethyl alcohol fermentation is 30 to 72 hours. Okay. Now what is the yield? On an average, for 0.4 gallons, okay, 0.4 gallons of ethyl alcohol is produced from 1 gallon of molasses used. Approximately 90% of the carbohydrate present in the molasses is converted into ethanol. The process requires careful control of fermentation process. You have to carefully control the amount of sugar, that is carbon source, the nitrogen source, the time, the temperature, everything. So you have to carefully control the fermentation process to ensure satisfactory yield. Okay, so you get a good yield. Now, once the fermentation run is over for say 72 hours, then ethanol is present in the fermented broth. So we have to recover the ethanol. We have to extract out the ethanol that is present in the fermentation broth. So the fermented liquid, which is called as wash, is allowed to settle down for some time. Okay, so as to separate the yeast cells. So the fermentation liquid wash is allowed to settle down for some time, and then it is subjected to fractional distillation. So ethanol is recovered by fractional distillation. The wash passes through analyzer and then through rectifier. So what we require? We require an analyzer and a rectifier to get the rectified spirit. Okay, so the fermented liquid passes through analyzer and then through rectifier to obtain rectified spirit and fusel oil. The highest concentration of alcohol that can be produced through fractional distillation is 95.6% ethanol and 4.4% water. Okay, so the highest concentration of alcohol that can be produced through fractional distillation, that can be obtained through fractional distillation, is 95.6% ethyl alcohol and 4.4% water. This level of concentration is achieved by forming an azeotropic mixture of wash with benzene and water. What is azeotropic mixture? Constant boiling mixture. Okay, so we actually take the wash mix it with benzene and water and form an azeotropic mixture. Then the azeotropic mixture passes through the fractional distillation chamber. In the first column, water evaporates and it is given out. In the second column, benzene is evaporated, and in the last column, what remains is the rectified spirit containing 95.6% alcohol. The spent wash, the waste liquid, and the bottom sludge are drained off as distillery waste. Okay, the spent wash, the waste liquid we call it, and the bottom sludge are drained off as distillery waste. The alcoholic product thus obtained is marketed or it is sold as rectified spirit or denatured spirit or special denatured spirit. Okay. So final concentration of ethanol that we can get is 95.6% alcohol. Okay, ethanol. Now, what are the byproducts? Along with ethanol, other products are also produced during ethanolic production or ethanol production from molasses. In addition to ethanol, carbon dioxide is produced. Small amount of diamyl alcohol and isoamyl alcohol, succinic acid, glycerol, and traces of other compounds are also produced. Okay. In addition to ethanol and carbon dioxide, small amounts of diamyl alcohol, isoamyl alcohol, succinic acid, glycerol, and other compounds are also produced. A mixture of diamyl alcohol and isoamyl alcohol together with traces of higher alcohols and compound ethers obtained from fermented liquor is known as fusel oil. Okay. Right. So we get rectified spirit and fusel oil. Right. So rectified spirit is to be separated. Okay. That is separated by fractional distillation that I told you in the recovery section. Now the rest of the things, that is ethanol, uses of ethanol, biochemistry of ethanol, and the flow chart in brief we will discuss in the next lecture.